Welcome to another episode of My Journey Back, possibly to God. It's been a while since I've posted on the podcast. This year has been much busier than I anticipated. I can't believe we're almost halfway through 2026. But I wanted to post a quick episode to share a new era of my journey. So I went through a really dark period in 2019 and into 2020. And I found myself unable to believe in God. And in 2021, I renounced my faith. And since then, I've been on a journey of recovery, but I haven't been exactly sure where I'm headed or what I'm headed towards. That's why I've started most of these episodes by introducing the podcast as my journey back, possibly to God. And the logo that I've used has a question mark behind God because I haven't been sure if there's a God or if I'm headed back to God. But over the past year or two, I feel like there's been a shift in my thinking. I still have a lot of doubt, a lot of questions. I can't say that I know there's a God or that I believe there's a God or even that I have faith that there's a God. But I can say more definitively now that it is God that I seek. Yes, I seek truth, but if there's not a God, then I don't really think I'm seeking. I'm more like a boulder rolling down a hill. I'm just doing whatever it is this organism has been selected by a mindless universe to do. But if there's a God, then I really am seeking. And it's not merely truth that I seek, but God Himself. Now, that sort of touches on Alvin Plantinga's evolutionary argument against naturalism, which is an interesting book, great book. It doesn't answer the God question, doesn't answer the God question for me, but it has helped me see my journey through a new lens. And it's helped me to lean into belief or at least hope, despite the doubt that remains. So, to introduce this new era, I wanted to start using a new logo for the podcast. So, I reached out to a good friend and asked if he would design a new logo for me, and I gave him my ideas. And what he came up with was so much better than I could have hoped for. So, let me show it to you. So, for those listening to audio only, I'll explain it here or try to describe it here. So, the title of the podcast is still My Journey Back to God, and the word back is still prominently featured. But the A in the word back is a green arrow, and it's turned on its side facing backwards to signify the journey back. So I thought that was really creative. And then underneath the text is some terrain, and it's sort of a hilly terrain. And in the foreground, it's gray and it looks kind of barren and ashy. And in the distance is a green mountain. And as my friend was explaining uh, the idea behind this, he said after he came up with this terrain idea, he thought of the quote from uh, from The Lord of the Rings, where I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's like during a battle, and they think they're gonna die at the end of the battle, and I think it's Pippin. Was it nope? Was it Pippin or Merry? I forget the two guys' names. Uh, I like Lord of the Rings, but I guess I'm not as big of a fan as I should be. Um, but anyways, he thinks it's the end, and Gandalf says, "End? No, the journey does not end here. Death is just another path. one that we all must take. The gray rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver glass. And then you see it. White shores and beyond, a far green country under a swift sunrise. And yeah, so I like that quote, and yeah, it just this terrain sort of feels like the journey I've been on. It's a difficult, gray, barren, ashy land that I've been in. And I don't think I'm out of it yet. I'm still, I think, journeying through that. But off in the distance, I feel like I'm beginning to maybe see the glimpses of that far green country. Um, yeah, and something that's perhaps a little bit more subtle, but I think most significant is that there's no longer a question mark behind God. So the title is simply My Journey Back to God. Yes, I still have questions. I still wonder if God really is there or not. But I don't question whether it's God that I'm seeking. I don't know if God is there, but it is indeed God that I seek. So I'm dropping the question mark, but I still have a ton of questions. So, what's in the future for the podcast? Well, I do have a couple interesting interviews scheduled. I have some others that I'm trying to get scheduled, and I'm putting together a list of people who I plan to reach out to see if they would be willing to do an interview. But I don't really know what all is ahead. I think for me, a good goal would be to post 3 or 4 episodes a year. I think that's about as much as I'll be able to do. But I want to make them meaningful. Um, and I have some really good ideas of people who I've learned a lot from and who offer some really interesting ideas that I'd love to share with you guys. So, but yeah, I don't really know, and I don't know how long I'll continue to share my journey in a public way like this, but I appreciate all of you who have engaged over the past few years, all of you who have reached out behind the scenes, all the phone calls, all the meetings, and cups of coffee. I'm truly grateful for all of those who've come alongside me and offered your support and kindness. And so, until next time, thank you for listening.